So I think that's the first thing I want to come over to the activity we do on class on Monday, right? So it's suppose that you have to write the program in the pseudocode and flowchart and to determine if a customer gets a premium rate or not, right? So the customer only gets a premium rate when he makes more than 200 call and the total call duration is greater than 1,000 minutes. And that is what I expected output here, right? So when I execute for the first time, the second time, and the third time, and so on here. So basically, again, for every program, right? So basically, for the first time we do with any program, you have to identify what are the expected output and what are the input here, right? For this program here, you have to determine if the customer gets the premium rate or normal rate or not, right? So it based on the input here. The input you got it based on whenever the customer make more than 200 call and the total call duration here and the total call duration it is greater than 1,000, right? That is the condition. You get the premium rate here, and you have the end condition here, right? Okay, so you need one more input here because you see, whenever you have to enter the customer here and you print it out how many calls David made for the last month and how many calls David made for how many minutes, right? So basically for this one here, I just take the program from one of the guy who submitted here. This one, right? Okay, so he did it very well with this program, right? He just start and stop here. He do the declaration. You need 3 variables in this program. It's very simple program, right? You need the name, you need the call, and you need minute here. Right? So that's the process, right? That process you get the name every time you use a combination of the from and the input here, right? That process you got the call, and that process you call the minute here, right? And after that you make a decision, right? You make decision, and you see in the case of the and here, I mentioned that in the case of the and logic, actually it is connected between the two solutions, right? The first one you check if the call is greater than 200 or not, right? You check the call is greater than 200 or not. Again, if greater than 200, you come in to check it again, right? If the minute is greater than 1,000 or not, right? So that is the case of the and logic here. That is the case on and logic here. And the customer only gets the premium rate when he makes more than 200 calls and the total duration here is greater than 1,000, right? And in any other case here, he got the normal rate here, right? So basically, this one that is the same with the slide. With the slide we do on the class on the module number 4 here. And let me go over to the slide again. Okay, so that is a case. Sorry, not this one, right? Yeah, that's the case of the making decision here. Yeah, so when you use a compound condition, right? This one is the AND logic, and you use a compound condition here. So remember that whenever you use a compound condition, you have to net them together, right? You have to net them together here. Think about this one here, right? See, that's exactly the same process with this one here, right? So the someone is only eligible to join army when his age greater than or equal 18 and his weight greater than and equal 140 here. So see, you check the first condition, and now the second condition here, you have to net it into the first condition, right? You can do this one here. You can do this one for his program here also. He can correct it with the condition here. He can do this one condition here. You can put them together, right? You just put it in the one line here, right? So you can put and minute greater than 1,000. That's also good, right? So if is a user output here, right? And else you have to put it in the line together, right? This one also work, right? You just combine them together into the one line. But remember, the way, right? The way the computer executes the same. Actually, you have to check this one first, right? This one first. And after that, if this one correct, this one true, check the second condition. If this one not true, for sure, you got a normal rate here, right? So basically for this program here, right? For this program, you just understand the logic for this one here. You just understand the logic, and after that, you can So from the logic from the pseudocode here is just converted into the flow chart here. The same process, right? You do the declaration, you get the customer name, you get the call, you get the input, and you make the decision here. And you see this one here, you net them together, right? You net them together. The first one, you check if the call greater than 200 here. If yes, you check if minute here greater than 1000 or not. Right? That's the way you work with the AND logic here. It's a compound logic here. Right? Also, you can put it here. You can put it M here also, right? And AND minute here. Minute here greater than 1000. Okay, that's also good, right? So you think about this one, you can correct it. Sorry, you can do it the other way here, right? So we can put it AND logic on this one. Okay, that also works. But remember that in this case, actually the computer execute exactly the same with the previous one, because you have to check the call greater than 200 or not first, right? And after that, if the true, you go to check if minute greater than 1000. And yes, you got the premium rate. No, you got the normal rate here. And in this process here, you use the process of the echoing input here, right? You learn it already, right? Echoing input, right? So what is the echoing input? Echoing input, that means you use the input in the subsequent statement or in the output here. You'll see when he got the name here, right? When he got the name, he used the name in the subsequent statement here, and in the output here. That's one to make the output and the subsequent more same here, more meaningful here. So for this one, right, you can convert it into the Python also, right? So see, when you convert this one into Python, that's the program in the Python here, right? So basically, again, for this program, you have the 3 inputs. That's why you get the name, right? And you know that the name here in string format. You got it from the input function. You do not have to convert it because the name here is in string format, right? And for the call and the minute, they are in the number format. So you have to convert it into the integer or float function here, right? But basically for the call and the minute, they are integer number, right? That's why you convert it by the int function, here. And he used the process of the echoing input here, right? So see, you got the name from the input here, you use it in the subsequent statement here, right? And now you check it with the netted selection here, right? You check if the call greater than 200 here. If yes, you check again if the minute here are greater than 1000 or not, right? So if yes, both of the condition true, you just print it out name and get premium rate here. If not, right, you got the normal rate. That's a very good program here. He converted into the Python. So basically, I mentioned that when you understand the logic of the pseudocode or you understand the logic of the flowchart, it's very easy for you to convert it into any program. Right? So for this one, he converted into the Python here. And so see, when I run it, right? When I run it here, so think about this time I enter Jack here, right? So see, I just enter the name is Jack here, right? And this one, you see, you use the Jack here, right? The name Jack here in the subsequent statement here to make more sense to the end user, right? So think about it, just okay, I put 100 here. And again, I use a jack name here in the subsequent statement here to tell how many minutes here. So I have the 800 here. And now again, I use the name jack here for the output here. That process of the is the echoing input, right? You use the input in the subsequent statement here and in the output to make it more straightforward and make it more meaningful to the end user. Okay, so that's the process I just review it in class activity here, right? So you know that process here. Whenever you want to use the echoing input, you put it here, right? Echoing input, you put it here, and echoing input, you put it here, because that name here is a variable, and you got it from end user, and you use it in the subsequent statement, right? In this 2K here, in this 2 case, that is a subsequent statement. And this K here, you use it in the output statement. Okay. And you do the same process, right? You do the same process with you do the same process with the flowchart also, right? So see, you do the same process with the flowchart here. Let me come back to his program, right? So we put it in the method selection here. So that's one. He used the same process here, right? So he got the name here. So when he got the name, he can use it in the subsequent statement, and he can use it in the output here, right? Output here and output here. That is the process you use for echoing input. It's really helpful and really meaningful to the end user here. So I think that's all for this program. It's quite simple here, but I know that some of you are not show up in the class. That's why you don't do it here. Anyway, I just want to correct it, so hopefully you can see the logic from that one and you can learn from that one.